Good evening, everybody. I'm Kath Lloyd from Make the Change, and it's Let's Talk. And this evening, we're going to be talking about how to refill that half-empty cup. Okay, now you often hear people talking about, are you a half-empty cup sort of a person or a half-full cup sort of a person? And what really they're talking about is, a bit about your personality type. So are you a pessimistic person or are you trending towards an optimistic person? But, whether you are more pessimistic or optimistic, sometimes there are times in life when our cup feels quite empty. But why is that? Well, that can be about a whole succession of different things. Because however optimistic we are, we can have a lot going on in our lives. We have a lot of roles and responsibilities, and things take their toll. And, for example, I was at an event, helping out at an event at Wolverhampton Racecourse at the weekend, and that was a kickboxing and a karate British championship. And the competitors, they were there, but they had a lot of support team around them. The youngsters, they got the parents there. The adults, they'd got friends, girlfriends, boyfriends, a whole succession of different people. And whether you are the competitor or whether you are the support party, you still have a lot to do in your life, as well as all of these other things that you want to do as well to support the people that you love. And we keep piling on top of ourselves a lot of pressure. We're told we should be able to cope and we should be able to manage, and that if we aren't managing, we aren't the perfect person. Well, guess what? None of us are perfect. And that's what I have to keep reminding myself. And also, it's what I talk about with a lot of other people, because at the end of the day, if you are a student, you've got deadlines to keep, you have relationships that you need to keep strong, whether that is personal relationships, your friends, relationships with your family. If you're at work, it's about performing at your best to get the results that are required of you. You've still got to maintain good relationships at work as well as good relationships at home. And, it all has a knock-on effect. And, other people's behaviour as well. I know I talk about this before, and we're not responsible for other people's behaviour. But when we're feeling, overstretched, starting to feel a little bit overwhelmed, and other people's behaviour does very easily affect how we feel about ourselves. And coupled with that, there's things like illness, maybe health issues, you may be dealing with a bereavement, it may be about moving house, your children are changing schools. All of this has a huge effect. So basically, it's all of those responsibilities plus additional change that is going on in your lives as you go through your life. And it does, build up. But the thing is, as that builds up, are you replenishing your emotional energy that is being, almost sapped out of you with all of these roles and responsibilities that you are taking on, all of those pressures that you are expecting from yourself? And the thing is, what I'm trying to say here is that, it's important to, think about your emotional energy levels as well as everybody else's. And if you don't replenish those, if you don't look after yourselves, you're going to run out of supply. It's just if the national grid didn't have the power stations, running as smoothly as they do, or if somebody has a strap on and flicks the switch and says, I can't be bothered to go to work today, then, we're not going to have electricity. And it's exactly the same process, because, our emotions, are the energy, just like anything else. And, when the energy levels, your emotional energy start to get lower, it's going to have an effect on how you think, how you feel, how you behave. And that is when, we start to get into anxiety and into stress levels, which again are not going to be great for us. On, like I've talked about before, on a short-term basis, yes, anxiety and stress is absolutely fine, but over a long period of time, it isn't good for us at all. And so this is why it is so important to talk about this. We expect so much of ourselves, other people expect so much of us as well, that I just want you to spend some time and step back. Just try and look at what is going in your life as if you were an outsider, and look at it from different angles, and try and look at how, you are thinking and feeling and behaving in relationship to everybody else around you. And you might actually be quite shocked at, what you're seeing. Because when we are in the thick of it, it's very difficult to step back, because we're so engrossed in what's going on. We don't allow ourselves the time or the energy to to start adjusting our life, start adjusting our thought processes, start adjusting our habits. And if you feel as if that your emotional energy levels are really dropping, then I want you to think about this now. What are you doing about it? What are you saying to yourself? Are you saying all those cliche thoughts of, I need to keep going, other people have far worse things going on in their lives than I do. I'm not the perfect mother, parent, sister, daughter, husband, whatever, if I can't manage this, because I should be able to manage it. Well, the reality is sometimes we can't manage it, all right? And it's about being honest with ourselves so that you can see it for what it really, really is. And so this is about being realistic. This is about putting things into perspective so that you can start to make some changes. And, it's about being just nicer, being kinder to ourselves, and, changing things in a good way. So, it's easy to reach for the chocolate biscuits, or the chocolate bar, or the glass of wine, or, a cigarette, or, drugs, whatever that bad habit might be that you've got, all right? And it's about thinking about, okay, this is how I feel, this is what I'm thinking, this is the behaviour that comes from what I'm thinking and feeling, so how can I make it better for myself, all right? And, when we're feeling very, very under pressure, it feels difficult to make these changes, all right? So perhaps, find something healthier to eat than the chocolate biscuit. Instead of having the coffee, at 9 o'clock at night, what could you drink that hasn't got a load of coffee or a load of sugar in it, that is actually going to be more beneficial to you, that will help you to have a better night's sleep. Try and go to bed a little bit earlier. Try and arrange your end of day regime so that it runs a little bit more smoothly for yourself, so that you can get your rest and relaxation. And when I was in the thick of it, when I was learning to do all of this stuff, and I'd take myself off to Body Balance, and that was absolutely fine because I was working my body, I was doing my stretches, and doing all those standing poses, which were fantastic. And the most difficult bit at the end was the 10 minutes relaxation, and that was because I had to stop. And when you stop, you invariably start thinking. And when you start thinking, that's when all of those different, thoughts and emotions that you've been burying start to come to the surface. And that's when it becomes very emotional. And, after a couple of minutes you go, all right, okay, right, bored now, I need to get on, I need to get home and do this and do that and do the other. And that was because it was easier to get up and carry on and do all of those things that I thought I needed to do, rather than spend just 10 minutes lying down, resting, breathing, allowing my body to come to a little bit of a slowness so that it could rest. Because it's the rest and the relaxation and the calmness that helps us to rejuvenate ourselves a lot more easily. So if you're not doing any rest or relaxation, or you find it very, very difficult, then this is your challenge for you this week, is just for 10 minutes, give yourself that time. If you struggle to rest and relax, then to put some very soothing music on, if that is going to help you. There was a lady that I spoke to years ago, and she really taught me something valuable, actually, because she talked about her anger and her frustrations, and we talked about rest and relaxation. And what she did, which is a fabulous idea, and I talk about this with my clients when we talk about rest or relaxation, is that she made herself a playlist that at the beginning of the playlist, the energy level of the music matched the energy level that she got in her body. And then each piece of music had a slightly less energized rhythm to it. And so actually she used the music in a very proactive way to help calm her down. And I thought that was such a good way of doing that. And instead of just going that you're in this crazy place and your head's everywhere and you can't rest and relax, to suddenly resting and relaxing, it can be very, very difficult. But having something like a playlist that helps soothe you down, okay, music that you like listening to, don't put on the sounds of the waves or, the panpipes if you don't like it, because that's just going to irritate the hell out of you. It's music that you like, and tailor it to what suits you, because, everything that we do that is proactive for us needs to be designed by us as individuals to suit our needs, because everybody's got different needs. Yes, you might find somebody who says, that's great, I can use that, and if you can, that is absolutely fabulous. But if you've got to change it slightly, then do that. It's absolutely all right. And don't feel bad about changing something because it isn't quite right for your fit. And just, do that 10 minutes. Give yourself that privilege of just having some calmness, all right? Whether it is in the middle of the day, whether it's as soon as you get home from work, whether it's last thing at night, treat yourself to it. Give yourself permission to do it, because you are worth it, all right? At the end of the day, you are the most important person to you. You're the one who's got to live with you for the rest of your life. So why not treat yourself to helping yourself to have a better life for yourself? Because if you've got a better life for you, that means that other people around you will, pick up on those energy levels and those vibes, and then you will naturally pass it out to other people. So, your 10-minute challenge is to allow yourself to have some quiet time, all right? Just have a think about how your day is going, all right? The sorts of things you're eating, the sorts of things you're drinking. Are you getting enough exercise? Are you giving yourself a little treat each day that is only for you? And I know that feels as if it can be busy, but it can be very, very difficult when you work full time, you've got kids, you've got pets, you've got chores to do, you've got meals to cook, school lunches to do, checking the kids have got the homework done, and all of those different sorts of things. But, I promise you that if you can give yourself 10 minutes a day, you will notice a difference. So, that is your homework for this week. And if you want any more support on finding that 10 minutes for yourself, or how you manage it, or what you should be thinking about, then simply just drop me a message and we can find a time to chat. So, I'm going to love you and leave you. Have a great evening, have a great week, and I'll speak to you next week. Bye bye now.